Hi, it's Anthony from carplaylife.com, and in this review I'll be looking at a new robot vacuum cleaner and mop from Trifo. This particular robot vacuum model from Trifo is called the Lucy. They have 4 robot vacuums in total, with the Lucy being their more flagship robot vacuum cleaner. It packs a wealth of technical features for its price range, so I was keen to get my hands on with the Lucy robot vacuum. Packed inside its rather sleek looking packaging, you'll find a paper folder with an instruction manual and guide. There's the Lucy robot vacuum itself with its gold and black colour scheme, and there's a separate mopping attachment and 10 replaceable fabric mopping pads. The vacuum also comes with its own fairly small docking pad and wall adapter, which also comes in the same colour scheme as the vacuum itself. I found that setting up the Lucy vacuum was pretty simple. You first have to turn on the robot vacuum by pressing down on the power button and then hold down on the home button to start the setup process. You then have to download the Trifo application onto your iPhone or Android device, and after signing up you can begin to add the vacuum onto your Wi-Fi network. To do this, you first have to enter your Wi-Fi name and password into the app, and then the app will generate a QR code from it, and then you show this QR code to the front camera of the vacuum. And on doing that, you'll have the robot vacuum connected to your Wi-Fi network. From here, you can instruct the Lucy vacuum to start cleaning with a simple tap of the clean button. The app itself is pretty standard when it comes to operating the vacuum. You can start a clean, command it to return back to the docking station, view its internal camera, clean a designated room or area, manage the saved map of your home, view its internal camera, clean a designated room or area, as well as manage the saved map of your home. You can also manually control the vacuum from your phone and slide through the many suction power modes that are available. The Lucy packs 3000 PA of suction power, which is good for a robot vac in this price range. The bin is also a very generous 600 milliliters. It can be accessed from the top of the vacuum, and it easily opens up to dispose of its contents in the bin. Sadly, there's no full bin indicator on the actual vacuum or the app itself, so you do have to keep checking when to empty it yourself, which can be around 1 to 3 full cleans, depending on how often you clean, how dirty your home is, and how much of the home you've cleaned previously. You can control its suction power easily by sliding through its many power levels in the app. Personally, I would have preferred a selection of preset buttons, because after swiping through the slider, it feels there are around 4 or 5 main power levels that this vacuum can operate under, and it isn't as granular as the slider makes you believe. Its 3000 PA suction power makes the robot vacuum my most powerful vacuum that I've tested, and it does a great job of picking up dirt and dust from my floors. Most of my home is hard flooring, so I couldn't really test how well it performs on deep pile carpets, but it does manage to get up on thick doormats and thin rugs without any problem. The Lucy comes with just one attached side sweeping brush that consists of 3 long brushes and 3 quite redundant smaller brushes. I was a little disappointed that there aren't any spare replacement brushes in the box, and with just 3 large brushes doing all the work, I'm sure they will wear out much faster overall. The sweeping brush is also screwed into the vacuum, so it will require a Phillips screwdriver to replace the brush head or even remove it to free up any tangled hair that may get caught up on it. Underneath the central brush roller head is a length commonly seen on most circular robot vacuum cleaners that I've tested. It's a common bristle brush design that does well in sweeping up loose dirt and dust. However, like other vacuums, this type is very prone to getting tangled up with long, loose strands of hair, and it requires regular cleaning. Luckily, the brush compartment can be easily opened and removed without any tools to clean and untangle any hair from it. However, without a supplied cleaning tool in the box either, you do have to find your own tool or use your own fingers to clean both the sweeping and main brush. Underneath the vacuum, there are a few full sensors to prevent the vacuum from leaping down flights of stairs or off ledges around your home, and the 2 wheels have sufficient traction and movement on them to make the vacuum climb up on top of any thick pile rugs or mats without too much trouble. There are 2 Velcro pads underneath, which I use to attach the mop accessory to the underside of the vacuum to add mopping functionality when you need it. Around the side walls of the Lucy vacuum, there are a few sensors and an object detection bumper to help with navigating close objects and walls around the home that are out of view from its optical camera sensors. Whilst at the very front, there is a 1080p HDR camera and depth sensor for 3D mapping your home and to help Lucy detect and navigate between new obstacles that lay in its cleaning path. The camera also has night vision to help operate the vacuum in low light areas of the home, as well as at night, and this night vision also helps with its intruder detection and recording feature too. With a high quality camera built into this vacuum, you can have the Lucy alert you to any movement that can detect with its front firing optical sensors, both during the day and at night. Schedules can be set to allow for some periods of privacy in the home, and I found the motion detection to be pretty decent and fairly quick to capture any movement. This is a great feature if you're away from home. You can log into the app, view and manually control the vacuum remotely around your home to make sure everything is okay. This is great if you're leaving kids behind or pets and you just want to check up on them and see if everything's okay. It's worth pointing out though that the area being captured is wherever you position the charging dock for the vacuum. So if you have it charging under your sofa or table, the view from it might be very limited to act as a proper home security camera. Through the remote camera, you have full two-way audio and microphone support should you need to communicate with anyone remotely through the vacuum, and controlling the vacuum remotely through the app is great fun too. Detected video captures are stored on the vacuum's internal memory in 4-second clips, and these can be viewed within the app along with their recorded date and time. However, sadly, this area is quite basic. There are no additional features such as increasing recording clip time, and there's no way to export the video to do anything else with it other than view and delete it. Thanks to the onboard camera and AI software, the Lucy vacuum can be more aware of its surroundings than most other vacuums in its price range. Its high quality camera and depth sensors can detect and avoid key objects such as people, pets and furniture, even shoes and loose power cables. And their location can also be displayed quite accurately on the map. However, my curious cat could only be recognized as a pair of socks. After using the Lucy vacuum for a number of weeks, I've been able to update its firmware twice in this time. And with every update, I hoped it would improve its navigation and cleaning methods. But sadly, I'm still left disappointed with each new promising update. I do see improvements with each new update, but unfortunately, overall, the Lucy hasn't quite met my full expectations for a vacuum at this price range of just under $400. When you enter the $300 to $500 price range, robot vacuums start to offer more reliable navigation features and functionality. One very important one is LiDAR mapping and navigation. And with the Trifo Lucy being my second 3D mapping robot vacuum I've used, just like the Myjar 1T I've experienced a few months ago, without LiDAR, I feel the vacuum is a little more dumb in its overall efficiency and performance when it comes to some of its competition. It's certainly miles better than the gyro and bounce navigation vacuums found on most low-entry robot vacuums, but it is sad to see none of the Trifo vacuums include the superior LiDAR mapping technology. Cost is a likely factor, but I feel that the Lucy vacuum could have done with LiDAR to help improve its efficiency with cleaning and navigating my home and still come in at a competitive $400 price tag. Don't get me wrong, its 3D mapping optical sensors did a decent job at navigating my home, avoiding objects and cleaning my home overall. But I was left disappointed when I looked at the map to see how the robot had cleaned and how it mapped my home compared to other vacuums. Some widely accessible areas were often missed, and after a few full clean runs, some areas in certain rooms were still incorrectly mapped as accurately as it could have done if it had LiDAR. Sometimes I found the vacuum had given up on a number of very accessible areas in my home before returning back to its charging dock, and with plenty of charge remaining. You can choose certain detected rooms to revisit and clean, but if the vacuum hasn't mapped these rooms accurately, I would end up with a detected area that's too big or too small. And without any way to manually edit the map, this would add unnecessary extra noise with the extra cleaning time, and it would use up more of the battery and unnecessary battery charging time on the vacuum. Another issue I found is its cleaning method. I found this to be very random and irregular. It was harder to assess without an actual path shown on the map, but just by monitoring the vacuum in person was enough to question its AI and general mapping. Sometimes it would clean half the room and then leave it to clean another for a short while before returning back to the first room again. I also had entire rooms undetected during the initial first exploration of my house before the vacuum announced that it had decided it had finished cleaning. The vacuum also stops for a short periods of time to process its surroundings before carrying on, so overall I think the brains behind this vacuum needs some extra work. As for its battery life, the 120 minutes of advertised runtime felt more like 100 to 111 minutes in reality, and that was just using 50% of its suction power. and around 63 minutes in total at full power. At just under 15% of the battery remaining, the vacuum would always stop and take some time and 5% of the battery to find its way back to the dock to recharge. I feel if it had an improved cleaning pattern, I wouldn't have had to recharge after vacuuming just under 50 square meters of floor space at 50% power or 28 square meters at full power. The vacuum randomly returns to the previously cleaning rooms too often, and until its latest update, it didn't do any edge to fill sweeping either. And even with the update, I do find that it wasn't as good as my 3-year-old MyJar 1 vacuum, which thanks to its software and LiDAR mapping, has a more reliable and efficient cleaning method. The Lucy vacuum also has mopping ability, so I should briefly touch on that. Filling up and attaching the water-filled mopping accessory to the bottom of the vacuum, I then sent it to clean a small area of my home. There isn't a specific mopping mode on the app, so the vacuum is basically doing a clean with a damp cloth attached to the bottom of it. Because of this, there's no option to detect or avoid rugs or carpets around the home. Apparently this feature is coming in a future update, so right now I don't think this mopping function is really fit for purpose because it will just drag its wet behind across rugs, carpets and doormats without any hesitation. However, I will say even with this fixed, if mopping is an important feature for you, you can find much better alternative vacuums elsewhere. With its powerful suction power, a large dirt storage container, and its ability to scale over mats and rugs very easily, the Lucy vacuum is decent at its primary task of cleaning. However, I find it's let down by its lack of software in cleaning and its general ability in how it goes about it. Luckily, all these issues can be improved through software updates, so I really hope over time Trifo improves its brains to match its brawn. Alright, thanks for watching and I hope you found this review helpful. If it has, please leave us a like down below and let me know in the comments if you have any questions about the Lucy robot vacuum from Trifo. You can catch all my other smart home reviews up in the top left playlist window. Hit that subscribe button down below to catch all my future content and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.